Okay, that's enough of that. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Movies That Are Real for the month of September 2023 and a bit of October because, hey, we're a little bit late and there's a shit ton of stuff that I just want to talk about now. Hello there, everybody. I'm George. I'm here with Ryan Lance.
That is what people have been calling me lately.
Carrie Lyles.
I am thriving. This is the best time of year.
It is the best time of year.
I know. I got little ghosts up in my little.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that. Spooky ghosts. Yeah, we're talking about the stuff of September because it's a little bit into October, and I have opinions about some October things that I just want to say it now before we forget. And
before it's a month from now, and we're like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Me and Carrie need to talk about Dark Harvest now.
Hot button issue.
And there's enough stuff in October. I think we can make an episode out of that. Still, I mean, fucking Five Nights at Freddy's is coming out. My God. I refuse to believe that's real. But anyways, hello there, everybody. Yeah, has anything crazy in the world of film? Well, the strike is about to be over.
The writer's strike ended and the actor's strike. It was close, but apparently they were still weird about.
Okay. So
apparently they were still weird about AI. Like what? And also, I saw a thing on the internet. Apparently, there's this Disney.
Yes, there's a movie that uses
it, and
it look
found
really bad.
There's some really bad extras, just like clapping.
Like 100%, they've been video games that look way better.
Yes, which is crazy that they're like, people, this is fine.
Yeah, whatever.
It's the most this is fine thing.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
I mean, I expect that from a Disney Plus original movie, to be
Sure.
fair, but I don't know. When it's gonna be like
right.
the Marvel movies.
That was that story that like we're revamping the Marvel Disney Plus. This time we're actually gonna.
Oh yeah, we're actually gonna have
Showrunners
showrunners and show bibles for our TV shows. That's insane to me.
We're not just gonna wing it.
What the hell?
I am so glad they're doing that right before Daredevil, because that's like
Man, that show. Poor Daredevil.
Poor Daredevil. I loved the Netflix show Daredevil. Is one of my favorite comic book characters. So I'm just like glad, like, okay, hopefully it's not as bad as Secret Invasion, because that would break my heart.
Vincent D'Onofrio coming back, baby.
Really crushed that man's
anyway,
head in that door.
That's
was
enough.
Awesome.
That's enough topical film talk. September. The Cuckoo is back, baby. The Conjuring Cinematic Universe. The Nun 2, Valak. Don't count her out. She's always coming. The Nun 2, the sequel to The Nun, which was probably 2019 or 2018. I don't know off the top of my head.
2018.
I think
okay.
so,
Yeah.
Not a good movie.
Not good.
Not a good film, The Nun. The Nun 2, I guess I'll start Carrie. What do you think?
Pretty fun. It's a fun movie.
So these movies take place. These are like in the timeline of The Conjuring. I guess they're the farthest back, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're like the 50s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a direct sequel to The Nun, which it's very bold of them to assume that anybody remembered any fucking thing about The Nun 1.
I did rewatch The Nun
Me
before
too.
going to see The Nun 2, and I had to unwrap my DVD. My DVD copy of The Nun was still pristine sealed.
My favorite thing about when I rewatched The Nun is it was like I was in bed and I was watching it on like my crappy tablet speakers. Like that whole movie scene is like loud jump scares. And when like you can't hear him, I'm just like laid in bed like motionless with like 1,000 chins with the angle that I'm sitting at. And I'm just like, this is interesting.
The Nun's like, "Bleh, the Nun," and you're like,
That's the thing with that whole movie. It's people wandering through the halls and they're like, no shit, it's the Nun, and then they run and then the Nun's just gone. Like, what the hell? Do more, bitch. What the hell?
She's building her power, Ryan.
So the last,
I don't know.
So the last Nun, the only memorable thing is that it left on a cliffhanger
That's kind of resolved because it's the prequel to the Conjuring 1.
Yeah, the Frenchie guy, we find out, is the guy from the video that the Warrens are showing to that group of people who...
in The Conjuring 2?
In the first Conjuring.
Oh, is it the first
Conjuring, yes.
Because the mom of the girls that are in the house goes to hear them talk, and they're showing this video of the exorcism. And Patrick Wilson says something like, he was a tomato farmer from whatever, and he said some of the best Latin I've ever heard in my life. And then at the end of the Nun, Frenchie's like, I think I'm gonna be a tomato farmer. And it's like,
oh no.
Oh no.
So it's weird because like the nun ties into Conjuring 1, but the nun shows up in Conjuring 2.
Right.
But then the Nun 2 takes place in between that. Oh man! So at the end of the Nun, you think Frenchie like is free, everyone's good and happy, but you find out that he's possessed.
Still possessed.
And the Nun 2 is all about him being possessed and however you say her name, the younger Farmiga.
Oh, Taissa.
Taissa
Farmiga has to go back and help. The nun situation. So like immediately you're like, okay, so he's in trouble and she's going back to help her friend, but you know that she's not gonna succeed,
right?
Because of
the timeline, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's like trying to figure out because like it makes no
sense. And like the whole movie happens, and even I guess spoiler, but it tries to end on another like, oh, we're all good now.
Yeah, he's fine now.
Yeah,
but he's not.
And he has like a family now, basically too.
Yeah.
But like, he's not. We know he's not. So
he was not.
So we have 2 movies where it's like everything's turning up Frenchie.
Is it possible that the Conjuring exorcism happened before the Nun 2? No way, right? Yeah,
no, because
like I'm so confused.
That would have happened in
so
the 50s,
confusing.
and the Warrens wouldn't have been like working yet, because they were working in the 60s.
So
70s.
I don't want to get lost in the minutia of the plot. Why is this movie better than the Nun 1?
Because you remember the scene in the Nun 1 where she goes underwater and bites the Jesus blood.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I
spits it
remember.
on the nun. There's like 12 scenes like that in the new one where it's like, now this is awesome.
Yes.
Whereas when you're watching the Nun 1, it's like, this is the most boring thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah.
But that one scene is hilarious. And then the ending hits you like a truck.
The ending does hit you like a truck. That's very funny. And it's like, how are they going to top that ending to the Nun 1, which was the only good thing about that movie?
What if we ignore it?
Yeah, first off, what if we ignore it? And also, what if we made it insane? But I think that's what helped this one is all like the scares were much more
ridiculous.
They were more ridiculous and fun. Like my favorite one that made me laugh really hard is when Taissa Farmiga was like running towards Frenchie because he was possessed, and he just kind of like grabs her, just like throws her off. He like WWE like impales her through, and like it's so funny because like for one she knows he's possessed by like maybe Satan himself or whatever, and she's beelining it towards him. And also above all the things that like we've seen the nun is capable of doing, it's chucking her across the room with his hands. Yeah, and that's just funny.
That was so fucking funny.
It's just funny, and there's a lot of stuff like that.
There's a goat, I understand.
There is a big goat man.
There is a big goat man.
Oh my god.
Which I guess might be another spinoff. It always feels like when there's another like what's that thing? Like I'm always like.
But I mean, the nun and Annabelle were both like things.
I guess so.
They weren't the thing.
I think it's just because
possession of another thing.
I think it's just because like in the Conjuring 2, like, oh, we're gonna make a nun movie and a Crooked Man movie, even though like the Crooked Man doesn't make any sense because it was just
he's just the ghost. I think he's just is it all Valak? I don't even know.
I rewatched that movie recently. I still don't love it. But it's all Valak.
Yeah. And
that confuses me because Valak is controlling a house in a different country to trick Patrick Wilson. It's
because I think Valak wants the psychic powers of Vera Farmiga and Taissa Farmiga. Because in this movie we find out that their casting is actually like they're related somehow.
Yeah.
Like the nun and Lorraine Warren have like either a blood connection or they both are like descendants of the same saint that they're looking for.
No, because the saint, when she died, she became a fallen angel.
Mm-hmm.
So she's literally related to the nun, right?
Oh, okay.
Because like that's because the nun is that fallen angel saint person, whatever. So
I need
literally
to rewatch this movie.
I
There's
know,
a lot
it's-
going on.
when this movie throws in like which is another crazy thing with the Nun 1 is like it doesn't really tell you anything about what the nun is.
No.
It's just like, what if there was a spooky house full of the nun? It's like that was kind of a lot of the last movie, but whatever, guys. But this like goes into like the lore and like it's so interesting because it's so weird because it's a saint, which I think is an actual saint, but then they're like, oh, but then like she turned into a demon, and then these are her actual eyes that we kept for some reason.
We just always got to find some body part of some ancient religious figure.
And it's so. My main thing is, the Conjuring movies are all based on the air quotes true air quotes stories of Ed and Lorraine Warren. But their spin-off movies are just kind of like whatever.
Let's do a silly one.
Yeah, like I think of Annabelle Comes Home, like a house of 1,000 weird demons, which is great. And this definitely feels more in line of that, where it's just like, hey, the rules to this just don't matter, and we're just gonna have fun and be weird. But it's just weird because, like, they're gonna go back to the whole based on the true stories of I don't know. This universe is confusing because if you're someone who doesn't know that it's all bullshit, you're like, oh, the nun stuff is probably real too. There's probably a real demon nun that was out there.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Did this happen?
All right. Well, we have a lot of stuff, so I want to
Why
wrap
is no one talking about this?
Carrie, what are your final thoughts on Nun 2 in the spirit of wrapping things up?
It is hilarious. It's a billion times better than the first one, I would say, and it's got some amazing set pieces and scenes that stuck with me for days.
Agreed.
This made $200 and something million, which is a lot of money compared. I'm shocked. Anyways, there has been a murder. Haunting in Venice, the third in the Kenneth Branagh trilogy of Agatha Christie. I don't know, was it Haunting in Venice made into a movie? I know Death in the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express has been adapted a shit ton of times.
Right. From what I heard, I didn't go and actually look it up, but from what I heard, it's based on part of one of the stories called like Halloween Party or something.
Yeah, they saw
but
this.
It's just like he just takes the characters and maybe the setting, but changes the story.
Okay. So this is kind of an original-ish.
Yeah. This is Kenneth being like, all right, I got the hang of this.
So yes, this is the third time Kenneth Branagh has donned the mustache as Hercule Poirot. He's hanging out in Venice. He's like, I'm retired. I don't give a shit. Stop bothering me with your cases. I'm hanging out, baby. And then Tina Fey shows up out of nowhere. It's like, who is
listen here, Hercule Poirot. I haven't written a book in a while, and everyone hates my new book.
And then gets invited to a party of a house that Tina Fey swears is haunted, but she wants Poirot to prove that it is fake, or maybe it's real. So yeah, and then we get into a whodunit. So yeah, I don't know. This is good. This is fun. This is better than Death in the Nile by a lot.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's a fun time. It's spooky. I mean, it's spooky, like compared to the other ones. Like it's scary. It's I don't know. I mean, the cast is not as.
The cast has never been as good as
the first.
The
First
one's insane.
Yeah, the first one's wild. But Michelle Yeoh's in it for a little bit. Spoilers. She's not long in the movie.
Yeah.
But I think it. People do a good job. 50 Shades of Grey man does a.
He's great.
He's pretty good in it. Yeah. I don't know, Carrie. Now as you're the super fan, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought it was a great time. I loved the bringing the spooky elements into it because it's just something we haven't seen from this series before, so it gives it that freshness. And I thought that the mystery reveal, I saw it coming quite a while away, but so maybe that aspect isn't as great as the other ones, but because I mean Agatha Christie didn't write it, but
sure.
But I thought it was a fun time, and I thought it was interesting, and I thought everyone did a good job. There was no stick-out stinkers like in some of these other Hercule Poirot movies.
What I find interesting about this one is I feel like it's because it has more of a spooky theme. I feel like it's had a bigger reach than the other ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like I've had a lot of people at my work be like, Ryan, have you seen that Haunting of Venice? What kind of movie is that? And it's like, oh, it's another Kenneth Branagh, Hercule Poirot, Agatha Christie thing. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the same series as Murder Express and Death of Now. And they're like, what?
Which I went to see this with my mom, and she did not realize that until the credits were rolling. And I was like, yeah, it's the same guy. She was like, oh my god! Because during the movie, we were the only
What a twist!
we were the only ones in the theater during the movie. She was like, she leaned over to me, while at the beginning when all the people were lining up to try and give Hercule their perspective cases, and she's like, so he's like a Sherlock Holmes type? And I was like, yeah. Did you forget? But yeah, so she didn't put the pieces. My mom would not solve the mystery, is what I'm saying.
My weird thing when I was talking about this movie to people, because at my work, people always ask me, because they know I see movies.
You're
like
the movie guy.
I'm the movie guy. It's like, yeah, it's the next Hercule Poirot movie. They're like, what? It's like, Hercule Poirot. I'm like, are you having a stroke? No, that's literally his name. His name is Hercule Poirot. Hercule Poirot.
There's a Murder on the Orient Express video game coming out this
What?
Yeah, so you can play the demo.
Is that a
Let's
fucking
fucking
Telltale
go.
game or something?
A little bit. I don't know.
Finally. It's a point and click adventure game.
You can be the mustache.
I am Hercule Poirot.
I
In
think-
this train car, we need to find 3 candlesticks, 2 napkins.
I think my biggest point with this movie is just throughout the series, his mustache has gotten less intense.
They do keep nerfing the stash,
and
which
that's
I'm not
a shame
fan of.
because they've given his stash such an insane backstory.
And it's like so ridiculous. I can't stop thinking about that. Like underneath
It's
that
horrible.
mustache, his face is fucked. I guess. I don't fucking know.
There's not a lot of mustache in this movie, so his face must
Yeah.
have healed up totally fine.
He's doing okay.
Yeah, good for her. Cool.
But
I'm sorry, I think I need a lozenge.
yeah, good
Love-
time.
Love that guy.
I feel like it was kind of just like a lot of 20th century releases now. Disney just kind of puts them out.
Yeah, this is a 20th century.
It is,
thing,
but
right?
it did its money. It did 104 million on a budget of 60, so it almost made its
Nice.
money back. So that's pretty good. I mean, it'll do well on Hulu. So
True.
I don't know if you greenlit another one. I don't know. Kenneth wants to do another one, but
I'm surprised they greenlit another one after Death on the Nile.
no, that was I don't know.
Because like that was a COVID thing, I know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like it also
That was a movie from last year.
it was also not very good.
No, it wasn't very
And
good.
the cast gets more cursed as each year goes by.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, yep, Haunting in Venice. Check it out. Pretty good. Speaking of Hulu and movies on Hulu, No One Will Save You.
Yeah.
I only know this as the Alien movie on Hulu. That's all I know about it. Ryan?
I'll be short about this one because I'm the only one who saw it. But yeah, this is an Alien movie on Hulu. It's another 20th Century Fox Hulu collaboration, and it's just about Kaitlyn Dever lives alone at this house outside of town, and you kind of get the vibe that she's a little ostracized from society. And then
Her name is Dever. I always thought it was Denver.
Denver.
Huh?
Yeah,
It's
Kaitlyn
Dever.
Yeah.
Interesting. Continue.
And then aliens show up, and it's classic alien greys, classic UFOs, sucking people up, and the whole movie is her surviving. But and this is a mild spoiler, I guess, but the main bit of this movie is there is no spoken dialogue throughout all of
Oh.
it. So it is all just like Kaitlyn
Because it's
Dever,
just her. That's why.
Just her. But there are some.
She's like, are those aliens? I thought
Yeah.
those
Aloud to herself.
It's like, what the stuff like that. But no, it's all just most of the dialogue is mostly her just like and then then all stuff like that. Which like it's a fun idea, and like I appreciate it like for the first like maybe hour, but there are definitely some scenes in it. Like there's a short thing in town where she interacts with some people, and there's clearly like issues between the two parties, but they don't talk, even though, and it feels like so weird that no one is saying anything. Like one is like a lady like just like they run into each other. One lady spits on her, and then like the husband like looks at her and just like is about to say something, then is like, oh, and then like walks away. And it's like, okay.
That is weird.
That is weird. And then, you know, there's some stuff later on that kind of feels weird as well. Kind of, it's like they try to like evolve the alien greys in different ways. And that just doesn't really work for me. It's a movie that like, I think it's interesting. I think it's a great showcase for Kaitlyn Dever for just, you know, having a whole movie where she doesn't talk, but it's still a very good performance. And, you know, it's very admirable that someone was able to make something like this. It makes sense it's a Hulu original because there's no way a movie like that would ever be in theaters.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. That's all I'll say about it.
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing is it's the classic
Aliens.
gray aliens, which I feel like we haven't really seen in a while.
Those guys that guy in Mexico found. Did you see that?
Yeah. He found some real ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one will save you. Check it out, Hulu. It Lives Inside. Spooky. So this is a neon released horror movie. It is about a young woman, a young East Indian woman who her and her family are like trying to assimilate here to this little neighborhood. They've been here for a while, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rest of the family is sort of assimilated, and the mom is like somewhere like in like the heritage of like where they came from and like still holds on to those old values and stuff. And our main character here is fully assimilated. She had a best friend back in the day, who they used to hang out a lot, and then they separated because she went though I'm like white, bro. Don't even bother me.
Yeah, she even like had like shortens her name into like something.
I forget what it was. Yeah.
It goes by Sam or something.
Yeah, she goes by Sam, but her name is obviously a lot more Indian.
Yeah. And so anyways, so her friend has a little mason jar she got off the fucking Yankee Candle or whatever the hell. And it's a little weird. Anyways, she's like, hey, could you like not let this thing inside here out? That'd be really lame.
And she did that classic high school like book check thing where she just shoves it to the ground.
So now we have to deal with this ghost who seems to be of some sort of East Indian folklore.
Right.
So yeah, this movie's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I agree.
It's a film. We did not watch it under the best conditions.
No.
We had very rude.
It's definitely the most normie neon film I think I've seen.
Yes, 100%.
Probably. So like, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Reaching outside their comfort area. But yeah, we had a very rowdy crowd that really got.
Guys went out in the town and they went to go see It Lives Inside.
That's what like confused
That
me.
is weird.
That like this movie that no one saw. This movie did not do very well, and yet the Rowdy Rough Boys came out and just like ham, trolled it the whole time.
Ordered a shit ton of food and just like, it's clobbering time.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard when he said it's clobber time. It's been so long since I've heard a Fantastic Four reference.
The worst part is when I went home and told Greg all the things that they said. Greg was like, "Nah, it's pretty funny." I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm so angry.
I think what annoyed me is like some of them like would make jokes and like they'd be like a little under their breath as if like they weren't confident about it. Like I remember one like when it was a fucking racist thing where he'd like, oh, look out Serena Williams, because like like the one black character, but like he said it with such like little confidence.
Oh yeah.
Where I was
correct.
First off, if you're not confident about making the racist joke,
just don't say.
Maybe don't say the racist joke. But I get it. You want to look cool in front of the boy squad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the joke that really made me like angry because
I didn't.
One, they don't look anything alike, and it's like, really? A Serena Williams reference now too?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about it's been a while since I said, but I thought my biggest problem with the movie is that it takes too long for it to pick up gas, and what makes it unique that this is sort of a Indian folklore monster. Like it doesn't appear, like you don't see it have a lot of fun up until like the last quarter of the film. And like my favorite part was when our character here, who is fully assimilated, finally meets in the middle with the mom, who is like fully like, I want to go back home, fuck this American shit.
Right.
And like they cook a meal to summon to offer it to the monster, and I
Yeah.
thought that was super cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
The best part of this movie was definitely the whole, the kid wanting to, assimilate, and then the mom wanting to,
But they don't go too far into it either.
Embrace the culture. It was a nice middle ground to make for a PG-13 movie to be not super hard into it, which I like, to make it that kind of conversation more accessible to younger people, I feel. But then a lot of the horror stuff took a long time to really get going.
The practical effects on the monster were pretty cool, and they seemed practical. Sounds like, yeah, hey, that's cool. But I think it all equals to it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a ghost. He's got rules, You gotta,
We love a guy.
I love the rules.
We love a guy.
I love
with
a little
rules.
guy with little rules.
Yeah. I'm gonna haunt you, but I got some conditions I gotta run by you real quick.
We have to have the perfect set of circumstances, and then I will haunt you for a specific amount of time, unless you do this one specific thing.
Oh, okay, that's weird, but
go.
Okay, I guess.
Dream on, folks.
They
Every
didn't
time-
play that movie. They didn't play that song in that whole movie.
You really thought they were gonna play that? Maybe at the
I
end.
hoped, George. Forgive me for having a little hope for the future of humanity or whatever.
The protagonist has returned, folks. John David Washington in Gareth Edwards, the creator. So the sci-fi movie, again put out by 20th Century or whatever the fuck they're called anymore. A very bizarre. There's some interesting lore to this movie. It's more interesting than the movie itself. The fact that it had it didn't have any marketing until after Oppenheimer. It was attached to Oppenheimer,
Oh, yeah.
and then it was relentless. If you're like us, go to the movie theater all the time. We're just pelted with this
I
goddamn
got
trailer.
so sick. My favorite thing is whenever we would be walking through the theater, I would always hear the trailer played in a different theater. So it would always we'd be walking through, they hear "Dream On," echoes. I can't escape the creator.
So, this is a movie made with $85 million, which is a significant low budget for the
It looks insane for that amount of money.
Yeah, and that's the biggest interesting thing about the movie.
Yeah.
It's cheap and it's made cheap and it doesn't look cheap at all. It looks like a Bavarian. What the fuck? Valerian?
Valerian.
Bavarian.
There's a million
I confused
planets.
Vivarium with
the fucking
whatever horror
Jesse
thing.
Eisenberg.
Yeah, with this. A big budget. We put a lot of money into this sci-fi movie. It's Gareth there was a Star Wars guy. It's gonna make a lot of money, but
I don't know.
it was shot apparently with a Sony like mirrorless camera you can buy at Best Buy.
It had a skeleton crew basically.
Essentially, yeah. They got really good people who knew what they were doing. Which is how they kept the budget so low, so they were able to move around and stuff. But the movie they've made, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of most people here, is whatever.
Yeah.
Listen, we always say we want more original, especially science fiction type movies, but not this one. Not one like this. And I think what hurts is because it feels very cliche and done before.
It doesn't do anything new.
Yeah.
Because it's
No.
which is a shame. And I think I agree with you. Where I think the most interesting thing is wow, they did this with so little. That's very interesting. The rest of it, I don't know, but it looks very good. The way I describe it is just it feels like a Naughty Dog, Tomb Raider.
It feels like Uncharted. Yes.
It feels like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, Last of Us. It has those beats of guy on a mission that he didn't want to go on. He comes across a child who can help him with certain objectives. He'd be like, give me a boost up this ledge or whatever.
There's some lore and shit, and you go to travel to cool set piece locations in Southeast Asia.
It feels like a video game. So if that's what you like, I guess, I don't know. It might be one of those movies that's just a play in the background of a party kind of movie.
Sure.
You're not really paying attention, but you look over and it's that looks pretty interesting. What this movie about? What? Okay.
No one knows. We just play it at parties. We never watch it.
I have a TV on my house that's specifically used for screening the creator on
the
loop.
creator TV.
Yeah.
Carrie, do you have anything specific to say about this movie?
I liked the fact that Allison Janey was in it. I did not know.
Allison Janey was in it as the main, like, yeah.
She was the main villain?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Multiple times she would go into a room and be like, pack everything.
Yes,
And
she is. Yes,
made
that
me
was good.
laugh. That's my favorite thing about this movie.
Oh my god, and we were watching it in an Atmos theater, and I think it was not a great Atmos mix, but what was the song they played what was this, when they were going over the fucking, what was this? It was so silly, and I remember, was it
Claire de Lune?
No, close. I mean, they did play that.
They did play that.
It was Radiohead.
Yeah.
It was that was the best sounding thing in the movie, and it was anyways, I don't know why that stuck out to me.
I forgot about that, and I forgot that they played.
It's because I love Vanilla Sky, and that is a song in Vanilla Sky.
It's all starting to make sense.
I got a side tangent. Claire de Lune is a very, very pretty song.
I agree.
Mhm.
When it's used in movies, it's almost always
Yeah.
infuriating.
Yeah.
For like no reason. What pisses me off because like you just hear like, oh, that's very pretty, it's calming, it invokes these feelings, but you watch it on the creator's like, oh god, the Claire de Lune again. That's a side thing, I don't know.
And also, like, my other problem is, like, to me, it felt like it was just using all of, like its Asian influences as set dressing to me. Like, it just, like,
Yeah.
like the what the fuck was the point of your chapter title cards, bro? Remember, there's title cards separating each chapter in this movie that I believe
like,
are in Japanese.
Wasn't it saying like
They were in English and Japanese.
Yeah.
It was saying like the father.
But I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
none of these characters are Japanese. They definitely did not look Japanese.
I think his. Oh my god, who played his wife? Gemma Chan played his
yes,
wife.
from Eternal.
From Eternals, baby.
Oof.
I don't know if she's Japanese though. I'm not an expert.
I mean, Ken Watanabe is in it.
He is. Who's he play?
He was the
He was one of the
guy.
soldiers.
He was like,
Yeah.
I know that she loved you, man. Ba ba ba.
I don't remember this character.
Ken Watanabe is in this movie, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I do not remember that character at all. I remember so little about this movie.
But yeah, I don't know. It's the fucking man. It is shot in super fucking widescreen. That was the weirdest thing. It's
was
not
really
often when
wild.
I go to a movie theater and that has black bars on it. It was shot in wild widescreen. Anyways, this movie is nothing. It's just nothing. I'm gonna look up how much did the creator make? Surely it made its money back.
God, I hope so.
That would be the funniest fucking.
Yeah.
I think this might be a movie that really hurts from not having like people promote it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I've said, I think on every podcast,
The creator did not make its
Oh no!
$65 million.
Because like I've said this every
boy.
podcast, but studios need to understand you need your people on Hot
You
Ones.
need Hot Ones.
You need Hot Ones to sell a movie nowadays. You need John David Washington on Hot Ones.
Right.
Getting the
And,
hot sauce.
and having the guy be like, so what are your thoughts on AI intelligence? He's like, and John is like, oh god, it's so hot.
Also, this is a movie. I think officially, I don't think John David Washington's a good actor. I think he's bad. I
mean, you're probably right.
I
but
don't think
still
he's a good
enjoy
actor.
him.
I enjoy him fine. This is a good movie.
I had to go home and watch some clips from Black Klansman to like remind myself.
Oh
what
right,
is
I need to
capable
watch
of.
that.
that
Maybe
movie's
then.
awesome.
Okay,
That movie's
I'll watch
awesome.
that.
That's a great movie.
I only have him from Tenet, that one movie by the guy who did fucking Euphoria,
Oof.
Oh,
Malcolm and Marie.
and this, and this.
Yeah, no wonder you're like, this guy sucks.
Yeah, Malcolm and Marie, no good.
No good.
And I've only seen 20 minutes.
I tell you what, he definitely plays a character, and maybe this doesn't help with your movie thing, a character called the protagonist. He just feels like the most blank slate
Yeah.
character. Like, that is the
He
protagonist.
is so I haven't seen a lot of Spike Lee movies. I still haven't seen
Do the Right Thing?
Do the Right Thing. I need
Fucking
to watch it.
incredible, bro.
But
God
Black
damn.
Klansman, I love
Okay,
that
I
movie.
need to watch
It's
that.
so
Really
good.
Yeah.
John David Washington's great. Adam Driver's great. Everyone's fantastic
Okay.
in that.
Well,
Oh, so good.
dream on, dream of a movie that made more money. Anyways,
That is the dream.
folks. Saw 10.
Saw
It's time,
10.
folks.
The
Let's
most
go.
critically acclaimed
Let's
Saw movie
go.
The 10th one. Has that ever happened? The 10th installment of a movie being the highest rated by not just like a wide margin.
Because the people were hungry.
After Spiral, they're like, ugh!
Because I was like, surely the first Saw had to at least have a 60% on Rotten
No, it
Tomatoes.
didn't.
It had like
20.
a 50
Yeah,
or
something
something.
like that, yeah.
And I was like,
People don't
what?
like it. Well, I mean, you know, it was
People-
like what is this?
Yeah.
Trash.
I get it.
Torture porn garbage.
But like, Saw X had like, and 80% on Rotten Tomatoes? Like,
Hell
I like this movie, spoilers alert. But someone telling me, Ryan, a Saw movie is going to come out and it's going to have over an 80%.
A better rating than the sequel to The Exorcist, an Academy Award-winning film. We'll get there.
That is an insane
yeah.
statement.
I would have been like, yeah, in my dreams, but...
All right. So, Saw 10, this is, I guess, as I understand, a lot of people don't consider Jigsaw to be canon because it's nonsense, apparently.
I don't remember a single thing about
As
Jigsaw.
I understand, they introduce another fucking disciple that comes out of nowhere in Jigsaw. It's like, who the fuck is this guy?
I honestly don't.
And it came out
remember.
years after, the final chapter.
Yeah.
and
But
everything
I
else.
think
Jigsaw's
I
bad.
think what Saw fans like about this movie is it's basically Saw 2 because it's in between Saw 1 and Saw 2.
Mhm.
But here's my main thing about this movie that I like and respect about it.
I think we'll have the same one, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, first off, it's weird because it's the first one that's really about John Kramer.
That's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
one. That's
It's
the
the
thing.
first
He
one
is-
that centers him, and it's
Yeah,
like
he's
he's
the
been
main
the thing
person.
the whole time
Yeah.
that everyone loves.
But like, what's crazy is like, there's like a quick like imagine torture thing, but like for a long time, it's just like this drama about this man who's passionate about helping people discover.
Life coach. He helps
Discovering-
them overcome their inner obstacles.
I love that. So he's like, I help people discover inner truths within themselves.
Like a life
Like a
coach?
life coach.
Something like that.
Yeah, sure. But like, it's like 30-40 minutes of this man trying to like live a little longer.
Yeah.
And then like it doesn't work out and he's genuinely devastated.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a Saw movie.
Well, back to the old.
But it becomes a Saw. Okay, so like setup for this movie. Okay, so yeah, like Ryan said, between Saw 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And so John is still alive, obviously, brother. Amanda's here, whatever the hell.
Big cancer.
Big cancer, big time cancer. Yes. So that's the setup. And so John right now is trying to fight this and still trying to find, something a cure or something to stop this cancer, put it in remission.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bam. So the thing that I love, it's the John Kramer, like finally Tobin Bell, put him front and center. But they build on the lore and they have so much respect for Jigsaw because the first scene in the movie is we see the trap in the posters, the eyeball thing, whatever the hell. And spoilers for Saw X a little bit. But like you see somebody stealing something from a patient, whatever the hell.
Right.
And then we just smash cut to the trap happening. But then we smash cut back and the guy who's stealing it sees John there and then returns it and that guy's safe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Again,
And he
it's-
goes, good choice.
Again, so like it's the thing.
I like this idea that whenever John sees anyone doing
He has a fantasy.
remotely like sketchy, he immediately thinks of how he's going to torture
My favorite
them.
part of that is that his daydream has the Saw editing. So that's just what happens inside
That
his
is
brain.
really funny.
That is
But
very
the point
good.
being, it respects the point that the traps and games that John Jigsaw originally set up, like actually have he's got a method and he's got a point.
Yeah.
And this movie again, to the point, like this is not an Amanda trap. This is not a fucking detective. What the fuck is his name?
Doesn't matter.
Not Hoffman. Yeah, Hoffman. Like this is classic Jigsaw, which we did not get again. To the point, this movie is like we never got a lot of him.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He'd have great scenes like, I've loved your book. That's a great scene.
I hate murders. I don't know why that's the one that.
But I think what's also like this has probably the best setup for people being in the traps too. I
Mhm.
feel because it's all these con artists who like do horrible things to people, and then they happen to do it to the Jigsaw killer.
Of all the people to cheat, you picked John Kramer? I
Yeah,
call that epic bad luck.
that is
What
that
the
is
fuck?
that is so funny. That's such like just that would be a funny idea if it was like one of the other ones where it was like one of them was the like lead like from their perspective thing. But it does help with it being from John's perspective so much.
And the fact that again they sort of reintroduced again John Kramer in like, hey, here's this actual guy, and like he actually sees he can imagine a place where he's out of this.
Yeah.
And so like they do such a great job of building sympathy for him. You already like him because he's fucking Jigsaw.
We stand.
We had that scene of him after he is cured and he's sitting in the park sketching
Yeah.
a trap, and then he's like, you know what? Never mind. And he crinkles
And
on the
again,
page and throws it away.
Man, like, and so again, you're the wire's like, man, fuck these people.
Yeah.
Go to hell. And so again, the whole ride is great. Fuck these people. Go to hell.
I love the idea of like a nice like 90-year-old man drawing in the park. Like, what are you drawing there, old Pat?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, what the hell?
I used to be an engineer. This is just engineer stuff. You wouldn't
Are you
understand.
sure? You really use that red pen a lot.
I like red.
Oh no.
But anyways, I feel like I've been saying a lot of what I love about this movie. Carrie, what'd you like about this?
I just love how this felt like the first time I got to see a real Saw movie
100%.
in theaters. Because the only ones, because I didn't really get into them until
late.
until Jigsaw was coming out, and so I've seen Jigsaw and Spiral in theaters, and those, But so yeah, it was just such a fun time, and me and Greg went at 1:00 on a Wednesday, so we were the only people in the theater, and we were just hooting and hollering. And it just felt like such a classic return to form, but in like a stronger form than we've had in years. And it was just so fabulous. And I loved it.
Yep. Just a Ren.
Yeah, I think I've said all I need to say about this, but my main thing is I hope that they just like reboot it from here.
That's what I was saying also.
And
like, let's just start.
And just like continue it from his perspective, or
I would love that.
Maybe or maybe he dies and Amanda lives still. Like,
that would also be
that'd be
good.
fun.
that's my problem with why I stopped watching after 3. Cool, it is awesome you killed Jigsaw because that is ballsy as hell.
Right.
But you killed Amanda also, and then you just had to make up someone new. And is this detective guy?
Yeah.
Who the
Yeah,
fuck? I don't. Yeah.
Who was like, I don't know. His look and vibe just didn't like work with that kind of character, and they kind of like use that like, oh, he's not doing it according to Jigsaw's rules or whatever.
Yeah,
or how he
Jigsaw's
did.
the one who's good at the rules. This guy
Yeah.
sucks.
This guy is
But then
filmed
it's
by
like-
the producers at Lionsgate. Like, just fuck him up. Just fuck these guys up.
Which like that would be fun for like a movie, but he's the main
Yeah.
killer for 4
Yeah,
movies.
that's rough.
Which I forgot about until we watched the
interview.
the preamble before the movie, and it's like, oh my god, he was the killer for 4 more movies than
Yep.
Jigsaw
Yep.
would.
Yup.
That's insane.
Yup.
Oh my god. But yeah, this is the most fun a Saw movie has been since the first one, and it's crazy that it's the 10th
Number
one.
10th one.
It's the 10th one where they finally got it right.
They did it.
both like critically and like, you know, making fans like really happy.
Yeah.
With it too.
I don't know where we go from here because the movie it's a Saw movie. All the budgets for these movies are low, but it's like $60 million, which is about on par with the final chapter. So it's not a runaway hit. I believe The Exorcist Believer has done significantly better.
Fuck.
I can't believe that because every time I go on Letterboxd, I see like Saw X like on the trending things up front. I have to scroll all the way to the back just to see where The Exorcist Believer is. No one on Letterboxd is watching that movie.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many people. I don't know how much money VOD releases actually make because they're releasing this on VOD before Halloween. Like in the next few weeks, they're releasing it again.
Oh, baby.
So yeah. So I don't know again, but yeah, it's great. I loved it. It's fucking awesome. I'm excited to buy it on Blu-ray and watch it again. My favorite part of it, John Kramer apparently doesn't know anything Spanish, but he does know "to hell," where one of the bad spoilers again for Saw X. One of the bad guys, part of the grift, is the taxi driver, and he's when John's about to catch him all, he's like, "Well, ¿a dónde vamos?" And he was like, "Al infierno."
I don't think I've seen George laugh that hard in like years. That was great. And that That was very, very good. I like that a lot.
Anyway, Saw X, check it out.
Can
Yeah.
I say my favorite
Sure.
small thing? Now that we're doing small bits, when after he goes to the right before he finds out it was a grift, and he goes to the liquor store and buys that thing of tequila, and he's like, I'm gonna go take this to my friend, and then he opens the door to that estate, and he goes, "Hello." I fucking died. I was like, I've never heard him be not menacing. He's just like, "Hello."
It's
Me
so-
and Craig cannot stop that because we were just watching Friday the 13th, and every single character in that movie goes, "Hello." At some point, so I was like, "Hello."
I think that's like. It also is like such a weird way to view this character who like over the years has just been like this mythos basically.
Yeah.
And you see him like develop relationships with people that he cares about. He's like, I love these people. They're like he especially liked the one girl.
I don't remember her name.
And I also another thing I liked is he was making the trap because like with some of the older songs like you had depression, so I'm gonna make you walk through a bunch of razor blades because you love cutting yourself. It's like, okay, Jigsaw, you could have helped this person a different way, but they kind of
we could have had a conversation.
you could have just talked to him about cutting themselves, and maybe that would have helped. But like her problem is, you find out in real life she has a drug addiction. And that's why she was part of this grift, and he gets her on the game, and Amanda's like, listen. A drug addiction's like a big deal. You understand that, right? It's and like they have a talk. It's like I know, but like we still have to do this. And like for a while during the games, like she's trying to like be easier on her because
He's essentially her.
Yeah, because he's essentially her. And I like how they dialed back Jigsaw hating mentally.
Right. They were
mentally and emotionally damaged people.
Right.
And now just be like, you're a pedophile, I'm gonna chop your balls off.
Let's go.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Movie.
Good movie. Good stuff. One of my favorite movies of the year.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, that's all September. We're gonna start talking about some of the stuff in October now. Again, shout out to Saw. Again, I don't know. I wonder if the gamble of putting out Saw earlier. They probably put it out earlier than they expected because they probably wanted to get out of the way of Exorcist.
Yeah.
That has to be because I knew it was originally going to be. If it's Halloween, it must be Saw.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was supposed to.
It was supposed to come
a
out
whole month later.
Yeah. So I don't know. They clearly moved out of the way once Exorcist. But, anyways, before we get to that though, VHS 85. This the third in the Shudder Resurrected VHS trilogy, which is what I'm making it up as called now in my head.
That makes
That's
sense.
fine. Yeah.
Who's seen this?
I've
All of
seen
us,
it.
I think.
Oh, have you've seen it? Okay,
I
so we've all
watched
seen it.
it.
Okay. So yeah, we got some big boys coming for this one. We got Scott Derrickson, we got David Bruckner coming up on the list here for some of these shorts here. Same bit. VHS. There's not a through line this time, right? No, there wasn't a through line.
There was a framed narrative, but it was more.
Oh yeah,
more
he was
Going
within.
back to David Bruckner's
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
The copy.
Which, that's fine. At least there was something in between, as opposed to one of my least favorite parts of about 99 was like there was just nothing.
Yeah, well, it kept. I just recently watched 99. It kept going back to the kid doing his little stop motion things with the army men.
Yeah, but then that ended up being only like one of the middle things. So then it just
Then it stops.
it stops and it's like, okay, you didn't.
Yeah.
And like, listen, the frame narratives have never been
Good.
No,
good.
they've never been
But
good.
like, that's the part of it. It's supposed to be like, these are some weird VHS tapes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I guess let's get the overall vibe of it. Brian Lance, what's your overall vibe on this?
I still love whenever one of these movies comes out.
You keep making them, I'll keep watching them.
Yeah, you keep making them, I'll keep watching them, because it's just like, especially with like any anthological horror thing, if you don't like it, it's gonna be over in like 5 minutes, you know? And then like it has the opportunity to bring something completely new to the table. And that's where I was like, it also gives, you know, smaller directors like chances to make something that's more widely seen. Like the Deadstream guy made his VHS one, and then he had the Deadstream thing. And I like it for those reasons. My main thing with this one, and I think you might have said something similar in your Letterboxd thing, is I think I'm tired of this year thing. because 94 was like, okay, that's fine. Setting it that year. 99 is like, okay, but like 85 is just like, I'm getting tired of this. And also it doesn't, they don't need that.
No.
And this one being 85, everything just felt dirtier and like less like clear.
Yeah, and I didn't like it. Turns out I didn't like it.
It's like, I'd like a little more than like 140p of resolution for this.
Let's try 87.
Turns out I kind of like the crystal clearness of like just unreal, like what the fuck is going on?
That's nice. It's fun, but
like the Death Cult one again. The Death Cult one, that one fucked me up the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a good one. But overall, I feel like there was only one of the shorts in here I hated, and I think you listed them, so we might get into them.
Yeah,
but
let's go.
But overall, they all were pretty like a 3 out of 5. Like, that's pretty solid. Like nothing like crazy or like standoutish, but like that's all pretty solid, except for the one with the VR. The VR one,
that felt like it was supposed to be in viral. Like that was not good.
That was one of I was like,
am I supposed to go get a snack during this? Like, what is this?
Very stupid.
Because it was just like a off-Broadway production about VR thing, which doesn't make sense considering it's 1985.
And the guy kept being like, my iPhones, wonka wonka.
Yeah.
I was like, Christ.
And then and she's doing her whole thing, and it's like, techno god, boo boo techno god. It's like, shut the hell up, God.
Like if it was like the 5 seconds in between switching VHS tapes, like there's parts where like they recorded over something.
Yeah.
Like if this was that, okay.
Yeah, like the part in VHS where they're like channel surfing.
Yeah.
You see a few seconds. If I saw a few seconds of a VR lady being like, techno god, and then her leg got ripped off, I'd be like, whoa.
Like, that's funny. But like 15 minutes?
It's a rough 15 minutes.
It's a is. It's also just like, because it's just her on stage too. That's the problem. It's just her ranting about technology in a vague sense, and it just sucks.
Yeah,
it just sucks. It's not scary. When she gets mauled, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think maybe we're supposed to be like, God, this is annoying. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and the best part is like when it ended and she was mauled horribly, and it cut to the crowd, and they're like, I think that was part of the show. They all applaud. That's funny. If it was a little less annoying, I would have appreciated it.
See, Ryan, that's how desensitized by technology we are. We saw her get mauled by VR and they applauded.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Oh, what the hell? Yeah, that was a stinkeroony.
Yeah, but that's my main thoughts.
The God of Death one was fine, I thought. That was the one with the Mexican TV station where they essentially like resurrect like a sort of some ancient god.
Yeah, there's an earthquake and then they accidentally wind up in a weird temple or something.
And that's fine, you know. It's a Latino thing. I like it. Fine, you know. I am who I am.
Yeah.
Like there's the part where they were walking down the tunnel and then the guy farts in his face and they start laughing and I was like, that's a human thing that would happen in this situation.
I liked this. What this one did that other ones haven't that I did like, and I had to look at your list to remember, is 2 of the stories connect to each other. Yeah. But they're in different perspectives, and that's awesome.
I liked that a lot.
That's like neither story was great.
No.
But like the fact that they connected was very cool.
I liked what the gimmick was. I really liked the first one, honestly, with all the people.
I think that was my favorite too.
And I liked what the mythos was. And then when we find out how it connects to the other one and what they were doing with the water gun, I'm like, oh, well, that's cool and fun and clever. They did something.
Yeah, they did something.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else to say about this. I
found the Scott Derrickson one annoying.
Yeah, I
don't want to watch Sinister right now, actually, Scott Derrickson. Please leave me alone.
I didn't like it that much either.
Stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe knock it off. I don't know. Or just, I don't know, man.
I think I want them to keep making these, but I want them to have a different concept.
DVD.
Yeah.
D/D/D.
I would love that.
It begins with a Windows Movie Maker-esque menu.
That would be amazing. gonna shit my pants if they do that. Oh my god.
Bloody disgusting. I know you're listening.
So, yeah, I don't know. Godspeed. Yeah, I don't know. All right, folks.
Oh, he's taking a drink of water, folks. Which is crazy because I'm going to be the one talking about this movie.
I hear tubular bells shaped in the shape of a turd. That's what I got. The Exorcist Believer.
Oh, I was going to talk about Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, I thought you said you were not going to talk about it. Ryan, go ahead.
Oh, a new Pet Cemetery movie came out. I was just going to
Paramount Plus.
I was just going to give the synopsis for this.
Okay.
Because I watched it, and after I finished it, I completely forgot everything that happened. But the synopsis is it's a prequel. And remember the old guy in the first one who's like...
Of course I remember the old guy in the
I haven't
first
seen
one.
Pet Cemetery.
Like, don't go down to that pet
It's
cemetery.
the guy from the Munsters, and he's like, you don't want to go down that road. Now that road's dangerous. That
Yeah.
I'm doing more of an impression of his character from that episode of South Park.
But this is his origin story of how he found the pet cemetery. Yeah, it's not very good.
I really wanted to know what fucking Lewis... No, the main guy's name is Lewis. I don't remember what the, Chud Nelson or whatever the shit his name is. I really wanted to know his origin story.
Yeah, it's just...
They tell his origin story in the fucking first movie. His dog dies and he buries it in the thing and then it comes back and his dog is pissed off and he's like, well, that's fucked up.
Oh, really? Oh, no. A bunch of other stuff happened before that he just didn't bring up.
What?
Because, from what I remember is, he's trying to leave town and someone else does a pet cemetery and he runs into that person and they're acting all weird. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, oh, you pet cemetery them. He's like, yeah, I did. I know we're not supposed to because everyone in this town knows what happens. But I thought if I did it, it would work out this one time.
Yeah, that's what everyone in these movies thinks.
And then the whole movie was a pet cemetery guy just going around killing people, and it's not very good.
Huh.
Wow. So that's it. Yeah.
Odd.
And then he's like, I'm going to get out of this town, and he doesn't.
He does not.
He does not. He becomes very old.
Gets his ankle destroyed by a little child in a suit.
Oh, that's very funny. But yeah. Now, George, we can talk about the real.
Well, I want to say the director of this is going to be an executive producer on Luca Guadagnino's The Lord of the Flies. That's all I got.
All right.
Interesting.
All right.
Tubular bells of shit. The Exorcist Believer, directed by David Gordon Green of the Halloween Blumhouse trilogy. Exorcist Believer, a Blumhouse production, put out by Universal. Now you might be. I'm the biggest thing that I don't understand. You might be asking yourself, didn't David Gordon Green make it very vocal that he wanted to make only 2 Halloween movies, and then the studio, which was also Universal and was also Blumhouse, forced him to make 3, and he came back for another IP horror movie? That's going to be another trilogy. I don't know. Here we are, folks. Taking place, I guess, assuming. This could exist. Are we assuming that only the first Exorcist happened and not 2 or 3? I don't know about Dominion and about that other bullshit.
Well, yeah. Well, those are pretty.
I don't know, because it's so in the future. I don't.
It could, but it doesn't. Yeah.
But the way they've marketed.
Nobody said anything with a Gemini killer, though.
But I feel like I feel like the general public doesn't know that there's 5 other Exorcist movies.
No, for sure.
Okay, so they just was like, whatever. It's just a direct sequel. Years in the future, where Reagan's mom is a person who wrote a book, and Reagan was like, "Fuck you, mom," but not in a you go to hell.
In like a Jamie Lee Curtis. Kind
First
of
off, I love how you're talking about this part, even though that has so little to do with the actual.
I'm just putting in the context of this. Anyways, we have a fucking. But this is the actual matter. There's 2 girls. There's 2 girls this time. They go off on a little field trip to the woods, and they come back after being missing for 2 days. And whoa, they're acting a little crazy. The body and the blood. And they got exorcists. They got the. We're supposed to believe it's Pazuzu.
I don't know.
I mean,
a relative of Pazuzu?
the
Demon relative
the
of
demon
Pazuzu?
remembers Reagan, but demons can like read your mind. So who?
Okay,
knows?
yeah, right. So maybe it's not Pazuzu. Okay,
who
cool.
fucking knows?
So yeah, they're both possessed. Her father here is not a really religious man. The other girl's parents are super religious.
But like mega church religious.
Mega church religious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his why they were at a trip. I don't know where they went to a trip to.
I don't.
He's a
remember.
photojournalist.
Mhm.
During this trip, there was an earthquake.
Oh, they went to Haiti.
Yeah. And then an earthquake happened, and then his wife died. But his daughter was blessed by one of the local religious folks there in Haiti, and we have one of those people in here. So there's all types of faiths, and we're gonna believe.
We have two types of Catholics and
Some third other thing.
and a stereotypical African woman doing voodoo. I don't know what to call.
I don't know. They don't say.
I don't know what to call that
Because they don't
we
go
all
into it.
know
Yeah,
what
they're
that
just
type
trying
of.
to skirt around
They're just trying to
everything
skirt
that's
around.
happening so that you can watch it and be like, yes, I
I
know
get it.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, man, this movie does nothing.
So bad.
It's just like, why? Why Exorcist? This could have been it. This could have been the Exorcist's the exorcism of your mama. I don't fucking know.
Jesus. But yeah, honestly, if I wasn't thinking about the film The Exorcist the entire time, I might have been like, that was
whatever.
serviceable.
Yeah, 100%.
Fine, whatever, I don't care.
But with the expectations of this being an Exorcist movie,
Yeah, you cart out Ellen Burstyn and then fucking...
And then
my
you cart her
God.
right back away.
It's so embarrassing that he was like, all right, I got the legacy character again. Let's put her in a hospital bed again. And also she wrote a book again. Because I don't know what to do with these fucking old broads that I bring into this movie. I don't fucking care.
That's another thing about... So, you guys didn't like this movie. I despised this movie.
Okay.
And like what's crazy is I don't even like The Exorcist.
No, you don't.
I don't care for that movie. But this movie is such legacy sequel garbage that like it made me so angry. Because like so much about it, like it has all the stuff where it's just like we have like a whole intro and then like we gotta get to an expert, and then the phone rings and Dan Aykroyd answers. He's like, I don't want anything to do with that.
well, you gotta call somebody else. I saw Casper recently.
Yeah. But then like they bring her in, and like first off, I know in the first Exorcist the two priests die.
Mm-hmm.
So
Accurate.
they so they can't bring them back technically. But it's bizarre to me that the main person they bring back is the mom.
Yeah.
Who like I
didn't see the Exorcist. The Exorcism.
She didn't see
because of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Okay, they died, all
Yeah,
right.
I
So
know,
maybe
I
be a little nicer to them.
Those fucking chumps wouldn't let me watch. Ugh.
You wanted to watch that?
Listen, my daughter's alive, but she's mad at me because I wrote a book for some reason, even though we were trying to let Reagan forget that this happened.
Whatever.
This movie sucks.
But they bring her back with like nothing, and she's like, I'm gonna go stop this like I did before.
I'm gonna go in there by myself for some
I'm
reason.
90 years old and I'm gonna go in there by myself.
I start reciting prayer as if I'm a fucking priest.
As if I know what happened inside the room.
Exactly.
And then they stab her eyes out, which
embarrassing.
is funny. And then it is fun.
Sure.
It's very funny that you would bring someone back and give them a permanent physical handicap.
What the fuck?
And then she's not in the movie until the very, very end with an insulting post-credit stage.
With Linda Blair.
You forget, Ryan, they cut to her for a little bit during the final exorcism because she like feels it happening or whatever.
Why would she?
That's why I thought it was Pazuzu.
Maybe. I have no idea. I don't think they have any idea either.
No, exactly, because here's the thing. You could have cut all of that out of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
You could have cut... None of that needed to happen.
No.
But they had to add it because the studio was like, we have to bring in legacy characters to make the fan... None of the fans like the other Exorcist movies. Why would they like this? The Exorcist is 40 years old, and the only people who like it besides...
50.
50 years old, and the only people who like it besides diehard horror enthusiasts are people who are now 70 years old, and they are not coming to the theater to watch Exorcist Believer. So why? Who is it for? Also, it's terrible. Also, it's a miserable film. Nothing happens. There's no, like, genuine scares or frights. There's 1,000 speeches about the power of God's love. Cleaning.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Which is funny, because another thing that's crazy about this movie is with all the other exorcism movies that... So, like, I've seen the first one, I've seen the third one, I've seen the Exorcist TV shows. From my understanding, the main character is always, like, a priest. Mm-hmm. And even with the first one, like, it was him, like, dealing with, like, I'm a priest, but, like, I'm conflicted and all that kind of stuff. There's no fucking priest in this movie. There's not a priest.
There's a priest where eventually the movie's asking us to care about, and I'm like,
when the guy shows up at the and he's like, I can't do this. Actually, never mind. They didn't approve it. So
I'm like,
sits in
okay,
his car.
Yeah. There's a guy who shows up. He's like, oh, this is my priest. Like, hi, I'm the priest.
To be fair, in Exorcist 3, they just threw in a priest at the end.
Yeah,
well, there's also the priest that
but
I don't
we have
remember
our main detective character and his best friend who is a priest, but you know, some stuff.
I don't remember that
They
movie
literally have to add on a priest at the end.
But like, I don't know. It's just funny. We're like, we need to do an exorcism, but we don't have a priest, and then they get the priest, and then it doesn't work out.
I think it's so the easiest thing the most hack and easy thing, easy paycheck. You would have gotten a thumbs up and a pat in the back. David would be like, just make a universal version of an A24 movie, an A24 horror movie. Like that would have been a modern adaptation of The Exorcist. Mm-hmm. That horror fans would be like, okay, I see what you're doing there. It would have done okay. Universal would have been fun. Your reputation would have been fine. They probably would have offered you the sequel, and you probably could have said no, and you would have been happy. And you could have done another fucking weed movie with fucking what's his name from Danny McBride. Yeah. So, but instead you did this, the most boring nonsense.
It's weird. And like what sucks is like I like the setup to this one. Like girls go missing and they're found and they're acting kind of weird, and it's like, okay, if you're a child and you went through a traumatic thing, obviously you'd be weird. Because like
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. But I feel like that's a better setup than the Regan one, where it's like, oh, she's just going through puberty, I agree. And she's weird.
Right.
So the setup is good, which is why I was interested in watching it, because the trailer was good.
Yeah, it reminded me of like Prisoners, except they turn into demons. But then like it's terrible, and like the girls like aren't nothing scary or interesting, and it has nothing to say. And then, like, deep in your head, you're like, I know this is a trilogy, but how?
Yeah,
how is it a trilogy?
No clue.
Are you going to bring back Leslie Odom Jr.? Why would he want to do that? Is his daughter going to get possessed again? Why?
Just do all the beats of the original trilogy.
I just genuinely don't understand any decision made in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. And it was just so... Like, the messaging felt weird to me, too, just in terms of, maybe this is just a me thing, but they have the dad of the religious girl, the, like, pastor dad, who's, like, an asshole.
Yeah.
And they play with this idea of, he's like, chaste and a religious man, but also he's a horrible person. So it's like, okay, what are we gonna do with that? But... They don't do anything with that. He just, fucks up the thing, and his daughter gets punished and dragged to hell.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I would have liked it if they maybe played with the idea of, like, challenging religion. I don't know how you do that in a possession movie, I guess. But then at the end, fucking Ann Dowd is like, you know what? Going to church is great. Seeing all your people's awesome, and it's like, why'd we even bother with this guy?
And that's another thing is like here's one issue I have with possession movies, and they always bring up is like, don't listen to the demons, they're going to mess with you, and they're literally a demon. Mm-hmm. They're going to like say hurtful things and rude things to you. So if they're like, we want you to choose which one of the girls to die, don't trust that. Why would you believe a demon? Why would you possess Pazuzu or Bagul or the Slender Man or Five Nights at Freddy's? They're not trustworthy. They're monsters who just seek to annoy you and I guess challenge your faith in Christianity.
Whatever.
Which is another fun thing is I feel like towards the end of this movie, because they have the whole crew of different assortments of religions, which again is 2 types of Christianity and vague African heritage other thing. And like, you see, the thing is they just don't lack faith at all or whatever, and we just need to bring faith together. So it's like trying to be like, it's not like, we swear this isn't Christian propaganda.
Believer.
We swear this isn't Christian propaganda, like all exorcism movies are at their core. We're saying that like, it's like, oh, it all goes back to like further things, which I think that's fine.
Right.
But then, like, they go back to, like, oh, through the power of Jesus Christ, anything's possible.
Yeah.
So, like, you're not even doing the thing that you're trying to do. God.
Yeah, what a weird movie.
I don't know where they go from here.
Are they gonna make the next one, or are they? Because no one's seen this.
No
I
one's
mean,
seen it and no one likes
It made its
Yeah.
it made its money back, but yeah, I don't see why. Like, you're like, then people aren't gonna come back. Like,
Yeah.
you fucked it. So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know.
David Gordon Green's probably not gonna come back.
No, he's been confirmed not to come back.
Okay.
They've given him the boot. So, but maybe they're gonna keep what's his fucking? I keep forgetting his name. Danny McBride is the writer.
Let
think
him
he-
direct it. Fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
I would love a Danny McBride directed exorcism. Then we'll get that video you sent us.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He smokes a little weed.
smokes a little weed.
Gets a little high.
Yeah. Then it would
I
be
want
that.
nothing
And
to
that
do with
would.
it.
Oh my god.
All right. That's Exorcist Believer, folks.
We will
Disappointing.
definitely talk about this at the.
But it got
Yes.
yeah. But it got me to watch Exorcist 1 and Exorcist 3. Those
Now
are pretty
that's
good.
the real win.
Those are pretty good movies. So, Dark Harvest. I know nothing about this movie. Y'all saw it. I was going to watch it, and I didn't go see it. I just know that
You were like, this probably isn't worth my time.
there's corn, and that's all.
Mistake.
Yeah. So I first heard about this because it was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, and I
I
made
didn't
like
know that.
my yearly. Whenever I make my yearly like Halloween spooky time watch list, I always look at what horror movies are coming out. I was like, Dark Harvest, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a horror movie. What's that? And it was based on like a book that's all about, you know, a killer with rules and involved corn, and I was like, yes,
Perfect.
Midwestern representation in my horror films. I love it. And then it didn't come out. And then we got the thing about the email about there being a early screening. And I was like, oh, I remember that movie because I tried to watch it, that just didn't come out.
Yeah.
But the plot is, it's 1960s, roughly?
Yes.
Yes, and it's this small town, and they have a Halloween tradition. Every Halloween, a demon called Sawtooth Jack invades the town, and they need it to be killed, or else basically like
their crops will die.
Yeah, like
they'll have a bad harvest.
they'll like a dust bowl kind of thing will happen for just the
that's
town.
That's
And here's what I love about it. Their tradition of how they deal with it is they turn to like a little game thing where they get all the teenage boys like all hyped up, and they're like, one of you has to kill it. And if you kill it, we will give you a brand new car, and we'll give you and your parents a brand new house. So it gets all these teenage boys like riled up and ready to go. And they're just storming and like going after.
And
killing.
also, they're like, you have to lock your teenage boys in their room for 3 days before the event.
They can't eat.
You can't eat or drink. So then they're feral mode, and the Sawtooth Jack is like a scarecrow that this farmer makes and puts candy in, and then it gets possessed by the demon. I think.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Whatever.
Well,
But,
that's the legend. But as you watch the movie, things become more clear. But yeah, basically the one who kills it, and then all the kids like storm and like rip its guts open, which is all filled with
eat
candy.
the candy. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I like that idea as like an urban legend. I think that's a fun idea. This movie's insane. This movie is absolutely wild, and it makes sense that it's made by the guy who directed 30 Days at Night.
Oh, really?
And I made this joke when I was talking to my boss about this movie. you know, you have a situation where you have one night where a bunch of teenage boys are going buck wild and 30 days of vampires. I think the teenage boys one is the worst experience to be in the middle of, judging solely by what I saw in this movie.
Yeah.
But this movie is wild and insane, and it goes harder than I ever expected to do.
So
for a movie that I also had zero expectations going into.
Yeah, for real, yeah.
But yeah, what do you got?
I agree. I think it's got, cause like I went in thinking that it was just gonna be like silly or bad, and it's got
like a direct to DVD kind of thing,
something like that, and it's got the build up has a lot of funny, weird, awkward dialogue moments, and our main character is like a bad boy, and he's the younger brother of the guy who won the previous year. And the guy who won the previous year took his car and went on a road trip and has not returned.
Yeah, no one's seen him since.
And so he's dealing with that, and he's like the troubled child, and he's like, you can't pin me down. But it's just very silly. But then once the night starts happening and Sawtooth Jack shows up, just some crazy shit starts happening, and I was like fully unprepared, and it was hilarious.
I think what made me like the moment where I realized this movie might like have something interesting going on is I think the worst part of this movie is there is a lot of build up to that night. And it's a lot of, you know, just stereotypical 1960s teenager kind of stuff.
Right.
I like how like they don't shy away from like kind of like the racism kind of stuff. Like they say some words like, whoa, I haven't heard that in a while. And like I like that because like I assumed it was like a YA novel, so I was like, oh
yeah.
and that's when all the gore stuff surprised me too.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be like very kind of like washed out kind of stuff like that, but like no, they like lean really into it. It's like, okay, I can admire that. It's still written kind of plainly and like too literally. But then like once the night starts, it gets crazy, and when I realized that, it's like, so the main guy has like his group of pals, and like one of them is, you know, his best friend, and like he wants to win the competition because he wants to move next door to his best friend again, essentially.
Yeah.
Then there is the Mexican kid who doesn't want to do it. He's very afraid of Sawtooth Jack, but his parents want him to win so they can have that opportunity. And then there's the other guy. I can't remember what his deal was. I think he was a nerd.
Probably.
I can't remember. But they had like enough build up where like you understand their motivation for the thing. Yeah. And this is a mild spoiler, and then they have their interaction with Sawtooth Jack, and he immediately like eviscerates them in like horrible ways. And you're good now, George. Okay. And at that moment, you're like, okay, this movie doesn't give a shit, and I am so here for it. And then you'd think, like, that's crazy. But then it just builds up more and becomes even more insane. Yeah. Like the thing with the storm shelter, that was great.
That was my favorite part.
The fire thing that just happened for no reason. And there's a bunch more stuff like that. And it's wild.
It's so fun.
It goes there, and then when it does like the big reveal, like okay, there's some weird stuff going on with this, but like when the reveal happens, you're like, okay, that's actually kind of fucked up, and I like that. Yeah. Especially when you think about like the way everyone, you know, interacts with and treats Sawtooth Jack. Like, okay, that's actually
right. Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, I respect this movie a lot. Yeah, this might be movie. I respect this movie more than anything because it does so much and it does not give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's an MGM, so that's an Amazon company, so it'll probably be on Prime
or MGM Plus.
Whatever. I doubt that'll be a thing for long.
We'll see.
But yeah, Dark Harvest, I would highly recommend it. Okay. It's a fun time.
Okay.
It's nothing groundbreaking.
No, but it's got enough like style and panache that I'm like,
it has like that good sense of familiarity to it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, this feels like something I've seen before, but it does it in different ways where, you know, I'm caught off guard a little bit, but it still feels cozy in a weird way.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Apparently, David Slade, and I think I knew this, directed a Twilight Eclipse.
Yeah, he did Eclipse too.
No wonder it rocks.
Anyways, the rest of the month, folks, there's still some spooky things, but yeah. October, spooky. Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour.
Oh, no.
The concert film. If Donna Joe would go with me, this is the one movie I would not go watch by myself. And I'd only watch the Dolby Vision version at the AMC. But yeah, Taylor Swift, she's all right.
I had this thought, because like there's the meme is like, you know, Taylor Swift and other people like, you can sing along with this movie, and people like, you might disturb other people in different theaters if you're like screaming during the movie. So I was just like, imagine like that one scene in Dark Harvest where like he's going to the store thing, and like the thing happened that you just hear trouble like faintly in the other room. It's like, yeah, we got bad blood.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that actually would be awesome.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah,
I'm not a Swiftie. I'll say it.
I like that new album. That's the only album I like front to back. And not even front to back. I think Karma's pretty cringe.
I dropped off after 1989. I just because music.
To be fair, Reputation wasn't good.
Reputation was not very good in my opinion. But like, I don't know. I'm sorry, but like Taylor Swift's fine.
She seems like a cool person.
She seems
I
good.
have no problems with her. I just don't like her music very much.
So
oh my god, this is a side note, but like I had to go pick up dinner with my dad, and he wanted food from a bar. And this random at the bar said like one of the most annoying sexist jokes about her and dating that one guy.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, it was like, you know, if they do it before, if he does it with her before the show, is it called a quickie or a Swiftie? And like, then he looked around at the bar for laughs, and some people laughed because it was a bar, and obviously there'd be weirdos. But like, I just wanted to be like, that's not even a joke. That like if you're gonna make a gross like sexist joke, at least like have it like functionally work as a joke instead of just be like. It's like, I just saw this on Facebook and now I'm saying it and claim it to my own.
Yeah, big energy of that. Yeah.
Foe! Starring Saoirse Ronan. That's all I know about this movie.
I heard it's not good.
I also heard it's not good, which is disappointing because it's based on another book, and it's written by the same guy who wrote I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Oh.
And so I was curious about it, but
so maybe we'll like it anyway because some people
maybe,
really didn't like it.
Maybe. But yeah, it's got Saoirse Ronan and Paul Mescal, and
that's a good cast.
Seems fun.
I've heard it's like a Malcolm and Marie type thing.
Is it?
Maybe.
I have
Well,
no
like,
idea.
it's just like an argument kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe Marriage Story is a better comparison.
I
don't know.
Revolutionary Road.
Yeah.
All right. Totally Killer. I've seen this poster. I know nothing about it.
This is a Prime original, and I've heard like you know, like, oh, that was pretty good kind of things. And it's basically Freaky, from my understanding.
Oh, okay.
If you remember that.
I do remember Freaky.
I've heard it's basically the exact same plot as Freaky.
Okay.
But with the girl from Sabrina, Dark Sabrina. She's bad.
She's pretty. That's
I
all I
watched
got.
an episode of that show and I was like, nope.
No, thank you.
I kind of loved how bad that show was, but then because I knew that was connected to Archer, I knew I had to stop because then I would watch Archer.
You mean
Archie? Sorry.
I was like, what?
Archer
Riverdale,
is a different
yeah.
show.
I don't know what any of that
Riverdale,
means.
yeah. I've heard insane things about Riverdale.
Oh, well, yeah, sure.
That show sounds so funny to me.
Apparently, this girl's also going to be in Twisters, the sequel to Twister. There was Twisters in Twister, bitch. There was multiple Twisters at the same.
Will you relax?
Twister's a good movie. Anyways,
I watched that in school. I don't know if I was supposed to. Is that fine for school?
that's
I don't
fine.
remember
It's just
it.
kind of scary if you live in the Midwest, I guess.
Yeah.
The suck zone.
That is what we call
Hell
it.
yeah.
That is what they say. Now entering Nebraska, the suck zone.
The suck zone.
I don't like how that's a like cool 90s font though underneath the sign.
There are many good things about Twister. I'll tell you what.
I have not seen
Not.
that. I've not
You
seen
should
it.
watch the movie Twister.
Okay.
That's a good time, man. Anyways,
Pretty funny.
yeah, great Philip Seymour Hoffman performance.
Got very good.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Martin Scorsese. He's back, folks, with another 3.5 hour movie for you.
I'm here to see about these murders.
What about him?
See who's doing them.
That's
great.
Did you see that story that
Oh, he was gonna be Stephen Yeun's
It
character.
was wild to
In
think
what?
of. In Nope.
In Nope, he was apparently originally cast as
But he
Stephen
wanted to do Killers.
But I think he, wanted to do Killers, and I can't imagine anyone doing that besides Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
That is wild.
That would be really funny.
It's so weird.
I'm here to see about these aliens. What about them? I
don't
guess
really know.
I don't know. I didn't think this bit through enough.
Anyways, I named my dog Marty, and because of that, I've been thinking about Killers of the Flower Moon.
Let's go.
And I'm probably gonna watch it. I thought it was this weekend. It's actually next week.
It's next week. I have my ticket already.
So you're watching it,
Ooh.
okay? Yeah, me and Donjo. I will see when we're watching it. It has to be.
I picked. I don't think you guys will be able to go. I'm doing it the 2:00 showing on Thursday. 'Cause I'm
I
like,
was
I'm
hoping it'd be like an 11 because they do 11 a.m. sometimes.
Oh,
'Cause
I
that
mean,
would-
they might have that on like a Saturday. Or
We'll
a
see.
Sunday
I hope
for
because
sure.
like I'm either starting my day or ending my day of this movie. I'm not doing middle.
I'm doing middle, baby.
If you see a start of the day, I might be
Okay,
able to
you
join
might-
you.
Okay.
That sounds good.
So yeah, I'll watch it. You know, I like Martin. I like Hugo. I like Taxi Driver.
I loved Hugo.
Hugo,
I need to rewatch that.
It's pretty
I just remember
good.
when I watched that like in high school.
Me and
I was
Carrie
like, I
saw
love
it in
that.
our fucking creative writing class. Or the hell?
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about us in our
Yeah,
creative writing
no idea
class,
who
and
we
I'm
were.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, weird times. Hugo, check it out.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. That's what's gonna happen.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
When evil lurks.
I don't know what this is.
What is
I
this,
did not.
Carrie?
I forgot to look up the plot, but I just heard that it's a
When
very
Evil
devastating movie
Lurks.
by the same guy who made that movie Terrified. Not Terrifier, Terrified, I believe.
Oh, that poster! I've seen that poster. This poster right
Yes,
there. That's
yeah.
Spooky
that
Man.
movie is
Spooky
like
Man.
that movie's pretty silly, but
Oh.
also really, really good. What were you? You were snapping.
It's
about
also
something.
Spanish.
Yes.
I thought it was. There's a similar movie from the Drive Your Car guy that has evil in its name.
Oh, no clue.
Okay.
That's not this.
I thought that was that. Sorry. My bad.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they're playing this at Alamo like one random day at 3:00, so I'm not gonna be able to see it. But
Huh.
I just wanted to put it on the radar for
Okay,
y'all,
sure. When evil lurks.
because that Terrified movie is pretty good.
Huh.
I need to rewatch it, but the specifically the first 5 minutes of the film Terrified are insane.
Okay. I might watch this then. Okay.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, The Holdovers, made by Nebraska's favorite movie boy. I forgot his
Alexander
name.
Payne.
Alexander Payne. I was this downsizing guy. That's the movie we all love. Not Nebraska. Oh my god. I was in Germany and I was
oh no.
I work in video games and I was talking to one of our developers who's British.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how we wound up talking about Alexander Payne, but we did. And I was like, he made that one movie, you know, and he's like, oh, Nebraska. Yeah. No, I think I was talking about Nebraska. And then he was like, oh, the movie. I've seen the movie. And I was like, yeah, I haven't seen it.
That's pretty funny.
Anyways, Paul Giamatti is an asshole college professor in a private school. He's got this student he doesn't like. Student doesn't like him back. They all go out for Christmas except him. And he's got to stick back with the holdovers. People who didn't go back home. And he's like, I fucking hate you. I wished you... If I was your parents, I'd kill myself. And he's like, my parents are dead. And he's like, oh... And then they probably find out that they have much more in common than they thought. And then,
I don't know.
That's crazy when that happens.
Yeah. And this is, I don't know why it's got this, like, it's shot in 4x3. It's got this old,
You're
I don't know
right.
why it's going for this look of, like, old 35 millimeter shitty fucking film stock
Right, yeah.
kind of dealy. Seems fine. I'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
I like Paul
Sure, why
Giamatti.
not?
So, is Paul Giamatti gonna come back?
I am the rhino.
Is Paul Giamatti gonna come back to Omaha? He did for what's the other? Alexander Payne did another movie. Paul Giamatti.
I have no
I'm gonna look up
Not
Alexander Payne's
Alexander
filmography.
Payne.
Was Paul Giamatti in Sideways? That wasn't Alexander Payne though.
idea.
Anyways, I will watch this. Sure. Will I watch it? Yes, he was in Sideways. So, yeah, because Alexander Payne did Sideways, and Paul Giamatti is in Sideways, and he came to Omaha at one point because Alexander Payne, I guess, is, as I understand, Alexander Payne is good friends with the person who runs film streams, and Alexander Payne brings celebrities over. Is like, hey, come on over to Omaha. We got this cool theater,
Right.
and then they bring money in. And it's a fundraising thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So Alexander
That's
Payne,
cool.
yeah. So there you go. The holdovers.
I can respect that. I just do not like the movie Downsizing.
You know, that's
That's
fair.
fair.
Yeah. Now, Fall of the House of Usher, the TV
Ooh,
series.
No, Anatomy of a
Oh,
Fall
my
is
bad.
next.
Anatomy of a Fall.
I don't know much about this, but it's gotten like very good.
Lot
like,
of hype.
Lot of
The
hype. So,
festival circuit.
so I'm interested in this. I don't know much about it.
From what I understand, it's like court proceedings
Oh.
about someone who has fallen.
Oh.
Another gonna be at Alamo for one day. It looks like.
Oh, dang. Let's see about
sure.
that then.
And there you fall. Fall of the House of Usher. I don't have Netflix anymore, but I would watch this if I did.
I started the first episode, and then Greg came out and was like, "What are you watching? This gray ass show?" So we watched something else.
I've not had a chance to start this yet, but I am so excited for this. Every time a new Mike Flanagan show drops, it's always good.
Yeah,
Somebody
I'm excited
described it
to
to me
watch
as spooky Succession, and I like Succession, and I like Mike
Oh.
Flanagan, so yeah.
Fall of the House of Usher is some Edgar Allan Poe,
Mhm.
and from what I've watched so far, the first 10 minutes of the first episode, there's some fun little Edgar Allan Poe Easter eggs.
Yay!
So this is very exciting.
That's very exciting.
Did it all drop at once, I assume?
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
did for Midnight Mass and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Netflix still likes working with him, because his last thing didn't do well for them.
Oh, right. Yeah, I
Midnight
never
Club.
watched. Yeah, I never watched.
Yeah, Midnight
that.
Club was good. It just was more of a teen kind of thing. And I think it was set up to be more of like a series.
Yes.
And then
And
Instead of a
Netflix-
mini-series.
And Netflix hates like, you want us to make more than one season? What the fuck?
Yeah. But this is a mini-series.
This is a miniseries, so this is all out and done. And I think miniseries is what he does best. And also 3-hour cuts of Dr. Sleep. He does that very well too.
Incredible.
Doesn't he have a movie project?
I think so. I think he's making another Stephen King adaptation.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
I also think he made a deal with another streamer.
Yeah.
Because I think this is his last Netflix.
Yeah.
Mm,
Shout out to Mike Flanagan getting work,
Yeah.
doing stuff.
I like that guy.
It's pretty good. Check him out. I don't know what The Killer is. That's on this
The
list.
Killer is a new David Fincher
Oh, right, you
murder
mentioned this.
detective neo-noir kind of thing starring Mikhail Fassbender.
Oh.
And it's gonna be on Netflix in November, but it's having some limited releases in October. And I'm very excited because I do not count Mank, so this will be his first
I forgot about Mank.
this will be his first like real movie in like real movie. Mank was nominated for awards, whatever. Mank.
It was a little too Mank.
It was a little too Mank for my Mank. But yeah, it's his first like more to form kind of film, and like, because when was Gone Girl?
2014. So almost a decade.
Oh
Been a
jeez,
long
that's
time.
why I'm excited for this, because that just
Did you see
seems fun.
Mindhunter? I never saw Mindhunter.
I did watch Mindhunter. It's pretty solid. It just also didn't finish.
Yep.
Like all Netflix
Yeah.
shows, it doesn't finish.
Ouch. Five Nights at Freddy's. This looks awful.
It looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
But the fuck, I'm not gonna. You think I'm not gonna eat that shit?
No. I'm
You
gonna
gotta
be
be-
there and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, when's the Markiplier cameo gonna happen? What's all of our relationships with Five Nights at Freakies?
Played the first game,
Yeah,
and then I probably watched some YouTubers play it,
you same.
and that's about it. And I became aware that there is deep lore. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the deep lore is,
But it is
but
deep.
it's like, I became aware that it's a phenomenon amongst the children.
This was
stuff,
yeah.
because when I was I went to college, but
Alright.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm not happy about it either. But between like classes, like you're just waiting around doing nothing. It's like I can't drive home because that's like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, so I found myself watching a lot of like Let's Plays and like video game like content like in the student center, And this was around the time that Five Nights at Freddy's was huge, so I just watched a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's content. And that includes some like the lore stuff, and I was like, okay, this is something. But then like as the games like more came out, like it became more nonsense and they just became more obnoxious, and I was like, this is nothing. So then I dropped off of like watching people play that stuff because I was like, I don't care anymore. And then it blew up even more than like it did at the time, and it became like more of a kids thing.
Yes.
And it's like, how? It's about murdered children and pedophiles. Why do children love this?
Because it's scary. Kids love urban legends. Are you kidding me?
I get that, but like it's about a pedophile.
It's the problem with the parents, not my fucking.
Okay, cool.
They're fucking watch your YouTube history, bitch.
Okay.
You know.
But yeah, this is a 3-hour movie. It's gonna be on Peacock. Yes, right? It's gonna be on Peacock. You can beat this game in 1 hour. How the hell?
Which checks out it's gonna be in Peacock because the actual audience is
it is R-rated, and kids might have a hard time getting their parents to go see the R-rated movie.
That's funny.
Especially just the 3-hour R-rated movie. So put it on Peacock. That's the smartest move Peacock has ever done.
3 hours of Peter Malark as the leading person in
Let's
this.
go.
So my relationship to Five Nights at Freddy's was like when it came out, I was like, oh, it's like Night Trap as a video game nerd.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, you guys really like this, huh? Oh, this guy's got like a weird Catholic sort of weird deal, huh?
He does.
Okay.
He like made like Christian games that people called too scary.
Yeah, which is how that happened.
Huh.
Yeah. So he like oh, people think my games look scary because like I think he was like not a good 3D animator. Or
It was not good, no.
So he's like, I'll just make a horror game, and then it became one of the biggest franchises
Really
ever
funny.
based on hate comments,
Yeah.
which is very funny.
Nice.
So that was my relationship.
But he also like is a weird Catholic, and I think has donated to the Trump Foundation and stuff like that.
The weirdest thing to me is that like Five Nights at Freddy's took off like a decade ago. And so I'm shocked that it's still big. I would have assumed those kids grew up and grew out of it and it was a thing.
Yeah.
And so, but here we are a decade later with the movie.
Yeah, and still games.
Those games still do crazy numbers. I've seen,
I don't understand how the lore picks up, because like I'll see like this weird like 1980s funky Freddy, and I'm like, how did this? Wasn't it just when I was a Five Nights at Freddy's fan? It was just one bad like place. I'm very confused how all this happened.
Will it be better than Willy's Wonderland or whatever the hell?
Oh, that'll be a tough ask.
No.
I like how the Five Nights like movies have came out before this came out, because I remember it was like there was like this traded hands a few times. I think it was like a blonde. Is it still?
It's still Blumhouse, yes.
Okay, I think a different studio had it at one point, maybe Sony or someone,
idea.
but I don't know.
I
just remember the movie got picked up like when I still like
that makes sense. The rights, and then probably
when I still like
that's
was
just how it
watching
took forever.
people play it, because I've never actually played them. I've just watched people play them.
Yeah,
But
it's like the
it sounds
first one.
annoying.
It was annoying.
Yeah, it's just an annoying game.
I do like. I can't remember if it's the first one or the second one or which anime. I think it's the Fox. I like his gimmick of you have to watch him, and if he's gone, you cut back to all the cameras, and he's
just
running.
That's gonna be very funny in the movie.
If that's in the movie, 10 out of 10. That's so fucking funny.
What I find interesting about the movie is the animatronics look like they do in the game.
Yeah, that's so bizarre.
It's so bizarre, and like I've seen people be like, why are they all CGI like the games? And people are like, no, these are animatronics. Like they don't look like animatronics. Like make them look like a real animatronic. This is a movie. It doesn't need to look. You'd sell more toys if they looked different. I don't know. It's weird.
Anyways, that's October, folks. And that's our episode. Wow, what a time. Remember we were talking about Saw and how good that was? I remember how we were talking about Exorcist? Exact opposite of that.
Whew.
Anyways.
You just put me through emotional whiplash by reminiscing like that.
Ryan Lance, if people want to catch up with what you're watching, where could they do that?
Go to letterboxd.com, Film Piece. I have a Blue Sky account now.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I got the Mr. Pibb
Oh yeah, I remember this.
URL, so I'm very excited about that.
Very good.
So if you have an invite to that,
I sometimes remember to use Blue Sky, but not often. Carrie, where can folks find you?
I'm also on Blue Sky, but I do not go on it, so don't follow me there. But you can find me on Letterboxd just by searching my first name, Carrie, Karrie. I'm amidst my yearly horror movie watch.
oh, same here.
I'm shocked y'all still do it. I'm like, man, that's a lot of years to do it. There's a lot.
I know, this is my 5th round.
Yeah.
I've
I've stopped counting. I just make a list of like 30 films and like I'll try my best.
Yeah, whatever.
You put in a lot more work than
I've
me on
done.
it.
Well, because it's my excuse to like try on my reviews.
Oh.
I do that once a year for a month. I'm like, I'm gonna make not shit posts for a month.
Yeah.
And people love it.
I mean, I was like reading your stuff, so I enjoy it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not a commenter or a liker, as you guys know.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But
you're vigilant.
I am vigilant. Yes, I always like to read stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I tried to do that too, but it's like when you watch because I watched the Winnie the Pooh horror movie.
Oh yeah, there's some fucking garbage.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to expound on this.
Yeah, it's like I can't.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm passionate, I'll write more on it, but I usually am not.
Right.
And you can find me at jcruzalvarez26 on Twitter and Letterboxd. I've been watching. I continue to watch a lot of movies, a lot of films. I feel like I feel mentally like I've watched a horror movie once a day this month. So
Nice.
and instantly. So
yeah,
I don't know. Will I watch something tonight? I don't know. I'm pretty sleepy.
it's kind of late.
It's kind of late. Well, yeah, we'll see.
I also want to dive back into Fall the House of Usher.
Oh.
I want to start that, but I'm tired and I'll probably go sleep.
Yeah, that's it, folks. Until the actual spooky season, which is probably just gonna, it won't be that long. Maybe it will be, knowing how good we are at recording. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.